Hi, my name is Larisha Yamini. I am 22 years old. I am the single mom of a 3-year-old son. And a little bit about me, I was a foster kid my whole entire life. At 17 years old, I got my first place. I got out on my own. At the time, I was working at McDonald's and I was applying to a job at the Salvation Army. Um, and I was never emancipated. So, by me signing a lease, both myself and my landlord, we were breaking the law. And so I was put out of that place, and that's how I met my son's father. I'll tell you about a little between that. In high school, 11th grade year, I had dropped out. I was actually on National Honor Society, and I had dropped out of school because of a boy. A man. He was older than me, of course. And he wanted me to be a housewife. So he wanted me to be home and to have cooked and cleaned by the time he made it home. And I fell for it. I went for it and dropped out of school. But I won't say I was held back because during my junior year, I was supposed to just graduate early that year. And I didn't. So it went on to a regular year. The following year, senior year, I did indeed go back to school. And at that time, I found out that I was pregnant. And I decided to drop out because, I started feeling sick. And I just didn't think I could deal with school. So I dropped out. And once I had my son, I did join back in school, and I did get my high school diploma. There was no GED. I got my high school diploma, and I've been living as a single mom since. I'm the organizer of Central Illinois Parents, the founder and organizer of Central Illinois Parents, and I also work with Youth Perspectives, which is a organization out of Chicago, Illinois. And this is a program that helps aged out foster kids basically find a place to go because a lot of kids at 18, if they weren't adopted or weren't guardianshipped out, they age out of the system, and a lot of those kids end up homeless. So I decided to join that program. And I also work with Head Start. My son attends Springfield, Illinois Head Start through Urban League, and I work with them. I'm on the parents committee, and I like that as well. Um, so, I guess I want to let you guys know that me being a single mom, and I had my son I got pregnant at 18 years old and had my son at 19, 18, but a month before my 19th birthday. And I want to let you guys know that it's not a cute thing to go off and have kids. It's not like a baby doll. You can't just dress it and then put it down when you don't feel like playing with it. You can't just play house for a little bit. When you have a child, that is a lifelong commitment. And I know that, with me being 22, most people expect me to be a party hardy type of person, but I'm not. When I had my son, that's my first priority, was my son. So I have to be focused and have to know what's going on with him at all times. Don't get me wrong, at 21 years old, every now and then I would go out with friends and, have a good time or whatnot, but I would never get in the state of mind where I couldn't, if somebody happened to call me, I wouldn't be able to get to my son because I'm too drunk or because I'm on drugs or anything like that. I never actually got off into drugs. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I do, however, have a drink every now and then. I'll admit to that. Um, but I don't let it control me, um, because my son comes first. And these are his younger years, and I want to be there for his younger years. And learning starts from home. So I believe these years are the most important years to be in his life. And for other young parents like myself, I feel that I know that you want to go out and party, but you can't go out partying every weekend. You can't leave your kids with your grandma or your mom and dad to watch, because it's not their responsibility. That indeed is actually your responsibility once you have a child. You grow up. You have to learn to grow up. You can't play house. This is a lifelong commitment, and even after, I know a lot of people say that, oh, once a child turns 18, I'm done with them. No, once that child turns 18 and goes off on its own, you still have to be there. There's still that molding process. That's you growing in that child, or that, as that age, they'll be man or woman. But they still need you there. And basically what I'm trying to say is that the younger years of being in a child's life, those are the most important years. And I'm saying that because, once a child gets, 12 or 13 years old, and you've never given them any rules or any chores or any regulations, or basically let them do as they please as kids, once they get to 12, 13 years old, they're going to run over you. And it's going to be too late to try to change them. So, as I said before, learning starts at home. In the younger years, you need to be there. You need to be there for those younger years, so you can teach that child what's right and what's wrong, so that when they grow older, and you're not around, they'll know what decisions to make. They'll have a strong enough mind to, if one of their friends like, oh, let's go party, let's go drink, and knowing that he has to be home at a certain time, or she has to be home at a certain time, or they have to go to school the next day, and that their friend goes and gets drunk, like, they know not to follow that footstep. They'll know better. Like I said, these are the times you need to be there. I am one of those parents. I am 22 years old, and I'm telling you, the younger years are the years that you need to be in your child's life. They definitely are. This is the time. So I just hope that those of you that are actually sitting here watching this have actually taken heed to what I've said. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not the world's best mom. But I try to be the best mother that I can be for my son. And I hope that he can grow to be a successful man that is being raised by a woman. I know that there are a lot of women that have raised sons on their own. So I believe that, I'll be okay. And I believe that you all will be okay too. And don't think that there aren't other parents like you that are out there that have questions, or that, of course, need advice, because, I am a parent that always looks for advice. That's why I created Central Illinois Parents, for that reason, because I didn't have my mom or my dad to turn to when it came to questions concerning my son, and I didn't have his father. So I created this group to be able to ask questions and get advice, like One time my son was going through night terrors where he would wake up in the middle of the night crying. And I'm not like, I didn't understand why he'd wake up, in the middle of the night crying. And he did this for like 2-3 weeks. And so I went on to the group page and I asked, and I didn't know anything about night terrors until one of the moms, let me know, and I researched on it. And I figured out some ways to cope with that, and I'm glad that he doesn't experience that as much as he used to. But yeah, I just thought that I'd make this video to let you guys know that you're not here alone as a young parent, that I am a young parent too, and that, you can do it. You can be great parents. You can be that mom that you've always wanted, or that dad that you've always wanted.